today's our Father's Day recognized.
Oh, happy Father's Day. I got Dad a great card. You'd appreciate it.
Okay, yeah, tell me about it.
Dad, you are one of my favorite parents.
That's a dad. That's perfect card for our dad.
He loved it. He loved it.
Yeah.
And in the inside it says but let's keep that between us.
Nice, yeah. So right.
And so I just gave him silly stuff. He's been bored at work, so I got him a desktop soccer game. If you imagine the most amazing and beautiful fidget toy. It was $15, so it was a proper.
Wow.
So I give him this stuff, and I was like, I know you're bored at work, so here's stuff to do. And Mom's like, oh, he's not bored anymore. He's got lots going on. I was like, fucking today sucks. Everything. I'm like,
Kalyn's crabby day. I know. Tell me about this moving the furniture stuff. Yeah.
So, oh God. Okay, so I had one a $20 storage unit, so it had almost nothing in it. And it had this cabinet in the back that once I got there, it turns out to be a stereo from the 50s that's in basically mint condition. It has the original receipt, and the guy filled out this warranty from 1957. Wow. It was for 3 years, and anyways. Nice. So I it's cool on the inside. I'm gonna try to sell it, of course, because I don't need a fucking record player. But I get over there, and this had been a pain in the ass to schedule with the person at the front desk person at the storage unit, because whatever, apparently she doesn't have to be at the office all the time. So anyways, I have 48 hours to clean out the storage unit, so I did some on Saturday, and then Sunday my code would start working again at 9:30, and I show up at 10, and my code doesn't work, and she's not at the office, I can't get in. What am I gonna do? And at this point, I'm on the hook for some big fee if I don't actually clean it out when in the 48 hours. So I call the office, leave a message as I'm supposed to, and I'm like, I guess I'll just go to this HEB and bum around. Hopefully you'll be around soon so we can set up my code again. I walk around HEB slowly for an hour and a little bit. That's my phone,
a long trip to an HEB.
Was that me? Yeah, I know. I'm going up and down the aisles. I'm like, I've never seen that salsa before. That's interesting.
The people who work at HEB are like, we got to keep an eye on this one.
I look sketchy at that point. Now I'm just strolling the aisles with nothing in my. I grabbed a couple of groceries, but also I got cottage cheese because I was like, maybe the thing is that I just like generic cottage cheese. No, this is false.
No,
I got HEB's generic, and it sucks.
This is the scientific method because you had a hypothesis and you proved it out.
Yeah, right. I was like, Myers is even better than Kroger, so we should keep going with this. Anyway, just another thing that went wrong yesterday.
Okay.
But
yeah. Sometimes there's a final straw like that where you're just and the cottage cheese wasn't good.
I'm fucking going home. Fuck it. Yeah, exactly. So, okay. I was okay, well, I'll just go ahead and I tried calling the storage unit again. No one answered. I was like, I'm just going to go over there and see if I can't follow somebody in, at least to get the stereo out. Because from what I've researched, I could probably get $500 for it. People are selling them online for $15,000 to $3,000, but I don't want to deal with shipping and all that stuff. And and so now I'm fuck. The most valuable item is still in the storage unit that I do not have access to and will lose access to today. And I can't get this woman to show up at her own job. So I was I'm just gonna drive back over there. Anyway, so then I see this woman walking to the office, and now it's open and she's there. So I call again and she answers, and I'm like, hi. Oh, I'm so glad I got you. I was been, trying to connect about this thing. And she's surprised that I needed access again, even though we talked at length about me having access for 2 days and needing access on the second day. I don't know what's going on with you and your memory, but from a person with bad memory, yours sucks. But anyways, at this point, I, by the way, have now bought eggs, cottage cheese, etc. that is sitting in the car, and it's a fucking billion degrees outside, and I just want to get out as soon as possible, to take the little things I can to the car. But then I realized that everything I've got in there is too big for me to put in my car with my stuff, and I get in my car. The AC doesn't work. Like, there's traffic now, even though it's fucking Saturday at like noon. Like, I thought I was gonna be done with a lot of stuff. I haven't eaten yet today. I'm hot as fuck. My food is probably gone bad now. I like moved the luncheon meat that I bought into my purse and was carrying that around like my to the storage units. And of course, like,
it to some air conditioning.
Well, like, so it's not like sitting in the car. I mean, I don't know, like the cheese and the eggs. I'm like, I guess whatever it is, what it is.
Yeah.
But then like the bag wasn't completely sealed, of course. So then like meat juice leaks in my bag and like, which is great. Like, yeah.
Little roast beef gazpacho. Huh?
Yay! In my purse, the purse I wear every fucking day. Yeah, and so like Jeff's buddy has a truck, and they're supposed to like get together, and like he was gonna borrow the truck to help me with this storage unit. So Jeff at this point cancels. He can't help me, and I'm like, well, perfect, because now I know the stereo won't fit in my car. It's a billion fucking degrees. I have till 5 p.m. It's now 1 o'clock. And I'm just, like, losing my shit. Like, all these groceries I just bought are bad. Like, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, great, I don't have any friends. Like, because, like, the spiral starts going. Like, if I pass a certain threshold, then, like, it's on. I'm not just crying anymore about being hot in this storage unit situation, because fuck it, like, well, who cares about that? But like, then I'm like, I'm alone in life, and like, I don't.
And the cottage cheese isn't that good.
The cottage cheese, yeah. I mean, maybe it would be good if it fucking hadn't gotten ruined by how hot it is out here. Like,
and if I just had like, friends, the cottage cheese.
I know if I had friends, I'd be able to borrow a car. If I had a job, then I wouldn't care if I fucking rented one. And then like once I'm going, it's like hard to pull that train back into the depot, you know? Like, and it was one of those days with our parents where nobody like wants to have like a 2-second like, hey, let's like make a game plan. Like, we should figure out what we're gonna do. We're like, this thing's gonna go in your car, I assume, but it could go potentially in the trunk of my car with it, like, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, mom wasn't having it. She just like wanted to move. She's like, let's get this moving. Like, so she just like starts carrying things, you know. So she also can't hear super well. And like, as I'm finishing up the unit, they like take off with the stereo. And by the time I get outside, they're like already lined up at the back of the car. And I'm like, we should really figure out like what the plan is here. But then increasingly, everyone is getting frustrated with each other, and so like.
No
it's
kidding.
Hot.
Our parents frustrated.
Yeah. And I'm like, can we talk about a plan? What are we trying to do? Where are we trying to, like, how are we getting this into here? Because it's going to be super tight. It's going to have to go kind of at an angle. And, like, we need to figure that out. And, like, it's also an antique and delicate. And I would rather us not break it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyways, of course, Pepper and a bunch of moms, like, comments about, like, oh, well, I mean, I don't know if you should be spending money on things if you don't have a job, you know, whatever. I'm like, okay, well, first of all, like
$20,
also, like,
Mom.
$20, and I'm trying to, you know, the idea
trying to
is
make
that I
some
can maybe
money
sell
here.
some. Yeah, remember that garage sale that I had at your house where I made like $1,700? This is how we get there. So yeah, Mom is like, you should do it this way, and because she's like she's never been like let's go, like, whatever. I'm not. I don't want to say she's weak or anything. I don't mean that. She's not weak, but also like she's not a person to like, here, you pick up this boulder, like, you know, and like I know that like, Dad is.
We gotta move this fridge. Who are the 5 biggest, toughest people you know?
Okay, so definitely my mom. Like number one, my mom. Yeah, like yeah. So also her favorite thing to do is like, you know, managing unruly, large, heavy objects. Like but I like have in the back of my head that like Dad is like already like spent from his half marathon, like you know,
of all the days,
like right. Mom was like, Dad's gonna drive your car with no AC because he doesn't mind it, and you'll ride with me. Then we get in the car, and she's like, so your father, after the marathon, he talked about how he like lost vision for part of the end of the race, and then they got home, and his blood pressure was at like 58/40 or something like that, like. And his pulse was at 115. I was like,
you're like,
oh
perfect.
My God.
Let's put this man behind the wheel of a hot car.
Well, and like I didn't realize it was that bad. Like, like you know,
damn, Mom. I mean, I'm still in my prime years. I mean, I know.
Like, I'm like, I would not have had him do any of. I would be like, fuck it. Like, I'll just take the fee, whatever.
Pay the fee,
if I know that it's gonna like by the time we got back to my apartment and like it was very hot, I'm sure Dad was super uncomfortable in the drive, but like we get inside, of course, get cold drinks and stuff, and like he's not looking well at all. Like I was concerned. And then mom's like, okay, Kalyn, you and I are going to go buy tacos at the new place. Dad's going to stay here and have a little rest. And I'm like, okay, I'm still actively sweating. She's like, well, go get cleaned up. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't want to get...
Take a cold shower right now.
Yeah. And so I like, okay, well, I'm like, fine, I'll change shirts, whatever. And I was like, okay, so where are we going? She's like, well, you wanted to try this taco place. I'm like, yeah, I guess. But what? She's like, I thought you could pick the tacos too. And I was like, okay, well, let's like not act like this is like me making all the decisions here, because I haven't made a single fucking one. Because my decision would be to, like, I could finish my bottle of water that I'd like hadn't had half of. You know, I'm pretty hot too, and like I'm also concerned about that. Like, and mom was like, or we could just leave. Your father and I can just go. And I was like,
Mom,
like,
cut it out.
I was like, fine, let's go. Like, let's go. You and I can go. Fine, whatever. Okay, and so then I'm crying because now I'm hot again. And, like, my emotions are right under the surface today. Like 1 millimeter. Like, one prick. And, like, I'm going to start crying. And, like, so I did. Like, I don't even know where we drove.
Now it's about the tacos. We're going to tacos too early.
No, I was like, Mom, why do you have to be such a dictator right now? Like, I would like to cool down for the length of one drink, you know? Like,
right.
I just want to be not sweating right now. I'm not even hungry because I'm so hot, you know? Like,
I'll tell you which tacos I pick. I pick none of them because I'm not hungry.
Right, yeah. So we get back, and, like, Dad doesn't like the tacos. He eats them, but they're... Anyway, they were, like, okay, tacos. And I don't have a dining table. So, like, we're sitting in the living room, and he's, like, not comfortable. He's sitting awkwardly too. I feel like his arm is like bothering him or something, and I'm like, is that your left arm? Like, which side's the heart attack arm? Like, like, it was awful, you know, like awful. Yeah. Like, after we ate, I was like, let's not take the thing out of the car because Dad's not looking well. So anyways, it was just like, I was just at a 10 of like emotions yesterday all day. Yeah. So then the shorts were like this, then that was like the next thing that I was working on. I was like feeling like an asshole because I'm like, okay, now it's like super late. I told my brother I'd be on it. And I'm like, I'm doing it tonight. I'm fucking exhausted, but like it's happening. But then it was like really fun.
These are going to be some funny ass shorts here too.
Yeah. No, I think they turned out to be really fun. Once I like got going with it, it was like,
I'm going to do these shorts. I'm going to crank them out. I'm going to post them to Robert's Church's website.
I'm not like, exactly. Yeah. Like,
I was talking about.
Like, I was like, finally things are looking up, and then I'm like, click, sounding, like, or my brother talking about like me, like, I'm not gonna be able to walk after this, like,
yeah. It's on the
like,
church website.
All your church, yeah, let the church people know what's up with your,
here's your
how
worship
you feel
leader.
about sounding, yeah. So, anyways, like. That was my day.
So all throughout that story, I was amazed that it seemed like Dad was a pretty good sport through all of that. Because I would see him being very huffy and grumpy, but I think there are times he hits this point where he's just like, I got no more energy for even being huffy.
I feel like me and Dad do this sometimes. It'll be like Team Kalyn and Dad versus Mom.
Oh, I see.
I was like, can we just like figure out a plan? And like, Mom wasn't even really going to be a part of like putting it in the car because it's awkward spatially anyways. But like, my mom had a whole lot of opinions about which way we put it in and whatever. Like, but like wasn't conveying, like we were not able to communicate like okay, now we're trying to have it at this angle, that angle, which side's up, which side's down, like what are we going for? And she was like, the way she was explaining it, I was like, I wasn't understanding it. Please walk me through this again because I'm not getting it. And then Mom's like super pissed and doesn't want to talk. So then like Dad was like, okay, I think she's saying that she wants us to do this part like this. And then she's like, no. And like,
Georgia!
Piece of,
like, it's usually you get a
like,
bunch
it was
of
just
Georgia!
Like, yeah.
Georgia!
Oh yeah. And it, like have to get props out at one point. And we're like, okay, so this is the stereo. It's not the right. And he's like, no, that's part of the jack. And I was like, Dad, did you really, what? Like, that's usually your dumb joke of like, I don't understand what you're saying. Oh, that's not the stereo.
That's
like,
the phone. That's my iPhone.
As we're literally holding the stereo, I'm like, do you think Mom has had like a psychotic break right now? And she's like, this is the stereo. That is the, whatever. I don't know. But like, and like, even once we got it in, he was like, that's not what she said though. That's not what she said. Like, she was saying to do it like this or that. Well, I was like, Dad, we gotta fucking drop this shit. Like, we have gotten the stereo in fuck it. Like, let us be on our way. Like, who gives a shit? At this point, I don't care if you fucking drive my car off a cliff. Like, let's not keep this fight that has no reason to be going on anymore at all.
It's rendered moot by the stereo being in the car.
I mean, he didn't stop. Even we're back in my place, and he's like, that's not how you said to put it. I'm like, who gives a fuck? Like, man. I was like, man, I'm already like gonna cry soon, and like Dad's like just egging Mom on, and Mom's like, let's go right now, come on, Kalyn, like
you're driving this car, Steven.
And I'm like, so okay, only Dad gets to cool down and rest. Like I got to have air conditioning in the car because like Mom had me right with her. Yeah, Dad's like, that's not how you were talking about putting it in the. Why did you say to put this corner there, Georgia? That doesn't make any sense. I'm like, oh my fucking god. Like, even if you guys were ready to do moving jobs again, I think it would be better to
take a pass on that one.
To have anybody else. I mean, yeah.
I gotta say, the next ad you see for Georgia and Stephen Kimmel movers, I would be taking a pass on that one.
Yeah. The Better Business Bureau is like, these guys 1 star. Like,
I mean, they're honest, but boy, are they a pain to deal with. I mean,
yeah, but they like won't talk to each other or to you during the moving process. Oh, except that they would talk to. Like, I was like, okay, let's get the jack out because that'll at least help us lift it up a little bit. I don't ever use my jack because if I get a flat tire, and this is not a joke, I would just kind of go and like start bending over and looking at it on the side of the road, and then a guy would come and change my tire for me every single time. I'm just like, what's wrong with this thing? Like, just looking at it, it's like ripped in half, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, just look. Some guy's like, do you need a hand? And I'm like, or if I like get the jack out, I'm like carrying my jack, but I don't use it, so I couldn't remember. Like, there's like some trick to it, right? You have to tighten this thing, and then you do the. But like, I forgot. I was like, I know there's something. I can't even figure out what it is I need to turn right now. And it's like Mom and Dad are holding the stereo, and like Mom's like, like, and I'm like. Like they're like talking back and forth to each other, but very quietly. Like Moms keep saying stuff to Dad, and then Dad's like, I think so, or whatever. Yeah. Like, I'm like, Mom, I know you're talking shit. Like, damn it. Like,
you know she doesn't have a job, Steven. And here we are loading the stereo in the car.
She thought we could just come here at 4:30. Thank God we came at 4 like I suggested. Like,
you know something, Steven, later on, we're going to get some tacos out of this. Here's how we're going to get her. We get back to her place, you cool down, and right when she thinks she gets to cool down, I'm gonna pull her out there, and we're gonna go buy hot food.
Like, and I'm like, if we're so concerned about like, I mean, and rightly so concerned about Dad being hot, like it's only because of like not AC part that makes Dad hot, like.
Yeah,
we were moving.
Not the hoof and the 500-pound stereo.
Right, exactly. Like, Mom and Dad are like, so where are you even going to put this thing? Like, your house is full of shit anyway. Whatever.
And you're like, I'm going to put it next to my Herman Miller table.
I gave that to Jeff. Like,
that motherfucker, like, he got a table out of this thing?
No, he got a table a long time ago because I was like, what am I going to do with this big-ass table?
No, there's somebody who's got this mid-century home and would love to have that thing in there.
You need a, like, side table or whatever. Like,
could be a real feature piece, really.
Yeah.
Sort of like we got when we first moved in Elmwood, and there was this just gorgeous oven from the 50s. Mm-hmm. And it didn't work, but if it had worked, we'd have kept the hell out of that thing because it was beautiful. Now I have an induction range, which just makes me freaking crazy.
I know, yeah. It's like, thank God you have, like, so fun to have to replace all your pots and pans. Fucking, what the fuck?
And you can't, and like every recipe where you're like, well, sear both sides and then put it in the oven, and you're like, well,
like,
in your cast iron skittle.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Anytime cast iron's mentioned, you're like, well, those days are behind me.
Yeah. Like, all right, I'll heat up the cast iron in the oven, and then I'll start it on the stove, and then I'll move it, and I'll
for what are the
sizzling in front. Like,
right, like, yeah. And a lot of times when you like do that kind of thing, it's like like stuff stuck on the bottom of the pan that, like, you know,
Yeah, you're supposed to
continues
have
add
that
flavor.
the-
You're like missing out on all that stuff because you now have to move
The
to a clean
fond.
pan to put it in the oven. Yeah,
The fond.
Yeah.
Pan dripping's my third favorite food. So anyway.
Yeah. I think it might be my third favorite too. I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
so good.
actually, Kinder Bueno is my third favorite food.
Kinder.
I bought like the big thing. You know, the grocery store will have 10 candy bars in a box or whatever.
Yeah.
And I saw that for Kinder Bueno, and I was like, ooh, yay.
Heaven.
But then I ate 6 of them in the first sitting.
Okay.
Like-
This is not healthy. This is not good.
And I was like, I love Kinder Bueno. Like, I don't think I'm a sweets person unless Kinder Bueno is an option. And then it's really hard for me to stop. Like,
And then I can't control myself.
And then I'm
all of a
like,
sudden.
oh my God, if you guys had butter and salad and Kinder Bueno, I'd be like, what am I going to do? It's so good. Everything's so good.
Heaven,
Like,
heaven on earth,
it's
right there.
my favorite foods.
Butter, salad, and Kinder Bueno. All
We are
right.
who
You know
we
what,
are.
Kalyn? I think we ought to kick the episode off.
I think so too. All right.
Let's cue the music. You are listening to Robert and Kalyn Get Rich. This is episode
And
50. Rich and fat on our Kinder Bueno butter. Well, the salad. You got salad in there.
Yeah.
Plus, you're sweating off the calories moving heavy objects. So,
Right.
and putting up with our parents.
Stressing about if I'm killing our father.
Yeah, exactly. This is episode 57. Today is
Yay.
June 8th, 2025. It is artificial Father's Day if you live in my household. It is Pentecost Sunday, almost no matter where you live, so hence the red.
Yeah.
And I guess, I don't know which
Yeah,
churches
that's
celebrate
why-
Pentecost, but the
Which
Methodists
one's
do.
Pentecost?
God sent the Holy Spirit down to the disciples, and after the rest,
Okay.
this is an Acts. It's officially the last Sunday of the Easter season. So,
Yeah.
so listen, you come here not for financial and investment advice, but if you want liturgical calendar advice, you have come to the right podcast. I know when you were Googling and you're like, I need information on the liturgical calendar, and Robert
Yeah.
and Kalyn Get Rich pops up, you're like, this has got to be the place. And all you had to do is suffer through a story about moving a stereo
About how
system.
bad, right? How bad a day I had yesterday.
And then you can
Like-
learn all about Pentecost Sunday. And then we can talk about the Julian cat, like Easter is on an Orthodox Easter, and well, that's about all
You know,
I know.
I used to celebrate Michaelmas every year.
Okay, right.
Because it's like mentioned in Jane Austen novels, which I think it's something to do with Michael, the angel.
Yep, that's right. And Miss is for Mass.
No, there
So,
you go.
for example, Christmas is Christ's Mass, you know? See? All
It
right.
doesn't mean birthday.
It does not. You've learned something.
Like they're tying it to like the pagans have like a winter festival or something that was around that same time.
It's like 3 days after the winter solstice, so, and
Yeah.
that's the birth of a new season and a calendar
Right.
year and a birth of, you know,
Yeah.
the resurrected
Right.
Savior. So anyway,
Right.
and then Santa
don't
has
know.
something to do with it. So.
Right.
All right, listen, so if you like our liturgical talk and origins of Christmas and all the rest, why don't you like and subscribe, leave us a review, give us 5 stars, and above all else, forward us to your friends and your
Yes.
pastors and the people who help you move furniture and
Right.
the air conditioning repair shop near where you live. They would love to hear this podcast. So, Kalyn, you had all kinds of agenda items for today. I think this is going to be a podcast of like catching up on old things we've talked about before, which I guess is not that dissimilar to many others, but nevertheless,
Yeah.
you had some follow-ups and I have a few follow-ups. So where should we start?
You and I talked about moments where you're like, there's a glitch in the matrix or whatever. Like, so this happened like completely related to the podcast. As I was going through editing, I had this like realization about myself because like the part where we're like talking about trolls, when I was listening back to it, I was like, man, my brother was working so hard to like say nice things about me so I didn't feel dumb. And I'm like, I knew that in general, getting compliments, like I hate it. I don't like it at all. It makes me super uncomfortable. And I thought it was just about like other dudes because it's like if you give me a compliment, I know you're not trying to get in my pants, but like in general, that's what I assume about the other men. And,
It's a
but I was
reasonably
like,
safe assumption, I must say, Kalyn.
right?
So,
yeah. So like that in itself kind of feels icky. Like if some like strange dude's like, hey. basically like translates to like, hey, I want to sleep with you. I'm like, yuck. Like, don't say that.
Hey,
like,
nice
but like
pants.
yeah, and I was like, ew. But as I'm listening back to it, I'm like, man, Robert's trying to make me feel good. I'm like, I hate this. I hate it. Like, and I was like, man, that's weird that this is like true of me. Like universally, I'd way rather hear the trolls tell me I'm dumb than hear like even my brother be like, you are actually smart. And then so like then I saw and I texted you about like this week's episode of This American Life has Mike Birbiglia on it. The theme of which the show happens to be like mirrors and finding out something about yourself or whatever. And I was like, man, we just talked about Mike Birbiglia, which we hadn't talked about before. And I have this revelation about myself. And then he's on the show, whatever. I was like, oh my God, all these things happen. Like, I was like, that's kind of a fun, interesting, like, synchronicity type thing. So
it is the universe conspiring.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what the message is exactly. It's like, you're right. You do hate compliments. Like, I don't know.
Well, you should watch the whole special because it's great, of course. Mike Birbiglia is great.
Yeah.
But he's also, and one of the reasons is great is, like usual, he's very introspective, reflective. You know, he knows he's very imperfect, but, you know, he learns a lot, you know, from life. So and of course woven together beautifully as always. So
right. I feel like that one of the last one I saw though was like just super focused on like having kids. Like I was the one where he like lists out the top 8 reasons why he shouldn't have children.
Yeah, that's the same one. It's the same.
Yeah, that's not Old Man by the Pool though. That's the one.
That's
before.
the new one is what you're talking about. Yes,
the new one is the name of the new one.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
The new one is the name. No, the new one is the name of an old one that talks about the process of having a baby.
The one that I've seen.
The one that you've seen is called the new one.
Okay.
Now the newest one is called The Good Life, and anyway.
Okay, and then there's Old Man in the Pool in between those two.
In between, yes.
Right. That I need to see the most recent 2. Yeah.
Yes,
But he like still remains my like. I still have nothing bad to say about him like as a comic. I don't
too
even
much
know
parent
why I like.
stuff.
Yeah. No, not even like I feel like I like got that idea in my head, but now that I'm thinking about it, like I was like the last one I saw was super like don't have it like here's all the reasons I didn't want to have a baby, you know.
Yeah. And then it worked out. What do you know? I like the comedians like Gaffigan that are like, yeah, I have these kids, sucks, you know, or like Bill Burr.
Yeah, he's
these
like, that's
fucking
why
assholes
I'm
now
here.
live in my house.
I'm here now because bedtime's too fucking awful. Yeah,
exactly.
Too many of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I really liked the Birbiglia stuff with like when he talking about the Muppets and cussing in front of the Muppets.
Yeah,
he's like, all the
guy
Muppets
who
were
comes
like
on stage and says "fuck" on the Muppets.
Exclusively cusses. Like
exactly. Even Kermit was like, that one could have gone better.
Yeah, they're like. Like does the open mouth
and the 2 gay guys in the like
like
this guy
like that his impression of them is like I love it like like this guy sucks I don't know.
We were on a long drive yesterday. Actually, yesterday was our 22nd anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
22 years of bliss.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we were going out to the fancy restaurant out in Vermilion, which is a hall. But so we were like, all right, we need something to listen to, especially on the way home. I'm like, let's find a comedy podcast, something, because all mine are financial. And like, I know you don't want to hear what happened in fucking German bonds this week. But I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, oh, here's Birbiglia. So we listened to some of that, and it was like unlistenable.
What's his name? The famous one. I was gonna say
Joe
John
Rogan?
Stamos. Yeah, not
John Stamos. Now that is a podcast. Why not?
The really big one, John Stamos.
John Stamos, cool cat.
Yeah, but not like the number 1 podcast in the world, but he's cool.
Pretty close.
Like,
top 1,000.
No hate. Yeah. He gets on very interesting guests. Like he usually has people on who are pretty, like, the top of their field, whatever that field may be, you know, so maybe it's an ex-FBI agent or whatever, or some, like, top, you know, guerrilla warfare specialist in the Marines or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or a PhD in biochemistry who's explaining why this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I think that he's a good interviewer, like, good at making the other person shine. And so, like, I will definitely give him credit for that. Like, it goes on for ages. You know, he does have, like, interesting content.
So my follow-up piece from a prior episode was, you remember us sending the guy to El Salvador, right?
Yes.
Well, have you got an update?
What is the news? Tell me. I'm dying to hear this. I've told, like, everybody about this. I keep having this conversation.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Well, the U.S. returns Abrego Garcia from El Salvador to face criminal charges. He was flown back to the United States on Friday to face charges of transporting undocumented migrants. A stunning move after they said they wouldn't do it and couldn't do it. And there's a 10-page indictment.
Man.
Attorney General Pam Bondi is saying things like, Abrego Garcia has landed in the United States to face justice. He was a smuggler of humans and children and women. And this is what American justice looks like. So I don't know if there's any funny there, but I'm like, yeah, okay. So now all of a sudden we found a reason. What do you know? He was a smuggler of humans. We sent him to El Salvador by mistake. Admittedly, by mistake. We said this was not. He was not supposed to this to happen. We can't bring him back though.
Unfortunately, we can't get him. Yeah, until we can totally get him.
And now it turns out it wasn't so hard to get him after all. But we've since discovered that this guy we accidentally picked up on the street is a smuggler.
Right.
Of women and children and other humans.
Yeah. It has like a feeling of, that does feel like reality though, because if there's some problem that happens, not your fault with like a government thing, like if they mail your driver's license to the wrong place or something like that, like, you know, whatever. Like, they're not going to do shit to fucking help you. But like, if you're in trouble for anything, then like, believe me, shit's going to get done. Like, you know, like you're not getting any slack here, you know, or whatever. Like, and it's like this is like a thing that like makes me super like not warm and fuzzy about government.
Oh, really? I don't think he's actually I don't know how this works, but I thought he married an American, which I thought makes you a U.S. citizen, but somehow he's not a citizen.
I think it gives you a green card, like or you have some like you're a permanent resident or something like that.
So that's what he is. He's not really a citizen, but nevertheless.
No,
he wasn't. People were critical of our short there when we said they're sending U.S. citizens to El Salvador. They're like, "What U.S. citizen?" I'm like, "It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that we said citizen. That's not the point. You're an idiot."
He is not illegally here. He was here fully legally, right?
Yeah, people have rights. Yeah. People should have rights, whether they're U.S. citizens.
Yeah, this is not how we fucking act. Like, we're not a fucking cartel in Mexico. Like, we don't do, you know, like,
you can't just walk, like, chop off his head and be like, well, he wasn't a citizen, you know? Like, I mean, he's just a resident, so.
What?
Yeah. I'm Pam
like,
Bondi.
This is fine.
I do what I want.
Man, did you hear about the mom who like had a vendetta against the cartels in Mexico? And so it's really common for your kids to get kidnapped and then like held for ransom, right? And they often they just keep it going and drain you, and then they've already killed your kid. Right. So, like this
Jesus
girl
Christ.
Gets,
boy, this is a picnic. Wow, Kalyn.
Well, no. This woman, I want to be this woman. This is like who I don't know. She is the most badass bitch I have ever heard about.
Nice.
So this happens. She finds out that her daughter is dead. And so she then leaves home and she like changes her identity, befriends all the best friends in like the cartel wives and stuff, like really ingratiates herself and goes and proceeds to murder like 8 of them. And gets away with it for years. Like, she keeps, like, changing her identity, getting into groups, becoming friends with everyone so she can get close to the people who stole her child and kill them.
Wow.
And, like, but I'm like, hell yeah, fuck her. Like, that's amazing. Like, it sounds like a movie that I would hardly believe, you know?
Sure does.
But she, like, I read about it in the New York Times, I'm pretty sure. I was like, wow, you are amazing. She was like, yes, revenge is the best served cold. And she died at the end. Like, there was a shootout with the last guy. She got shot and died. But
I mean, I kind of, sort of, I mean, maybe they picked up elements of this for that Oscar-nominated one that had the trans actor.
I don't know. I'm not very on top of movies or TV or anything.
Well, that's because the Oscar nominees aren't famous anymore. You know, there's no like Titanic. They don't nominate the Avengers to be an Oscar.
Yeah. Have you heard of the Battle Itter?
The Battle Itter. No.
Yeah, Battle of the Castle Itter.
No.
Okay. Then this is the like craziest battle of all time. Like,
all right.
So I was like, maybe I should find battles that are interesting to talk about. And so I found
Robert and Kalyn do military history.
Well, we're like, we get rich with knowledge about,
a battle, nerd stuff.
Like, yeah. So like this little thing. I'll read. This is from Reddit, but like this is super fun. So this guy's like, I'm a fan of the Battle of Castle Itter. Basically, the German SS had a bunch of high-value prisoners that stashed away at a fantastic castle. This include 2 French prime ministers, a professional tennis player, Charles de Gaulle's sister, and a bunch of other people that were important. A Yugoslavian communist prisoner left the castle and marched off to find some advancing Americans. He ran into the Americans of the 103rd Infantry Division. They decided to mount a rescue mission. Those guys got stopped by heavy shelling, and their officers made them turn back because they had entered an area under the control of another American division. The SS guards all abandoned their post once the commandant died in mysterious circumstances. The prisoners and had the cook hop on a bicycle and go out and get help. He ran into some Austrian resistance folks who led him to join up with the resistance, but they had been German.
This is amazing. No.
No,
that part.
Those guys. So they meet up with some Austrian resistance fighters.
Yeah.
Those guys go out to get help, and they found some of the approaching Americans. So imagine a former German soldier looking for an American to rescue a French prisoner from the SS. They end up locating an armored reconnaissance unit of American Sherman tanks. They got permission from those officers to rush off and save the day. Now the American force gets whittled down by the usual things you get in a badly written war movie. A rickety bridge that they had to leave a tank behind to guard and stuff like that. So a single American tank, some American infantry, Germans with a truck, and a German officer in a German Jeep, a Kubelwagen, ran into the SS roadblock to chase them off. Jump back to the castle for Act 2, laugh out loud. The French prisoners are getting help from the German SS officer they made friends with while he had been recovering in the Royal Castle. So, the American forces show up to help fight the small group of Frenchmen and their SS friends that guard the castle. I'm not wanting to spoil the story because it's worth looking into it because it is fascinating. The bad German SS show up to kill the prisoners and they start attacking the castle. Cue Hans Zimmer soundtrack for the battle scenes, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I just think it's like funny that it's like...
It's like Keystone Cops, crazy zany battle.
Yeah, like there's these random like a castle with like these prime ministers, a couple pro tennis players. Like if you imagine like the Wes Anderson version of this like story going down, like so the pro tennis players like walking around with like the sports headband, like the sweat things on all the time, like then Charles de Gaulle's sister and whatever. And then, like, they send the chef, like, the chef jumps out a window, gets on a bike, riding his bike.
And he's totally
on
it, got his chef hat and his
right,
ascot.
Yes, of course, yeah, 100%. And, like, then there's, like, this bridge that they're trying to get a tank over, and it's like, I think we can do it. No, dude, we shouldn't do it. I don't think this is going to work out. Like, I don't know, I can just totally picture all of this, and, like, then there's Americans in the mix, Austrians, Yugoslavian, like, just, like, such a random hodgepodge, like,
well, and it sounded like we were fighting
Nazis,
the French team up with the SS, and they're fighting off the Austrians, and the Austrians befriended the Americans have befriended the Germans, and
like I just
total
love the
mayhem.
whole stuff. Right, and so now I have a new battle that I know.
The Battle of Castle Itter.
Battle Itter. Yeah.
For the record, the Oscar-nominated movie was Emilia Perez. It was a Spanish-language French musical crime film based on an opera libretto of the same name, loosely adapted from the chapter of the novel Écoutez. It follows a Mexican cartel leader who aims to disappear and transition into a woman with the help of a lawyer, and then comes back and starts helping people find their dead friends and relatives from the cartels, and then somewhere in there dies for some reason. And it was a crazy movie, and it would have won Oscar in all likelihood, except for that main actress was posting all kinds of I don't know, anti-Semitic stuff or something. So
Right.
Dang.
So that's the same I don't know.
And what's her name?
What's the person's?
Yeah, the one actress won Best Supporting Actress. So for her effort, Zoe Saldana.
This real person is Miriam Rodriguez Martinez.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think this, but that sounded like she was this person, like, she transitions gender wise. It sounds like she started out in the cartel and then left the cartel, right?
Yeah.
And then came back to help. Like, yeah.
I believed it to be fiction. I thought it was total fiction. But then when you told me this story, I was like, well, there are some elements of that like bear some resemblance to, the passing and, amongst other people's cultures and, whatever.
Well, I mean, so she's also she was Mexican too, but she, like, so okay.
But she passed as a cartel.
She became
wife.
Their best friends.
Yeah.
She wasn't their wife. Yeah, she like became besties with the wives of various cartel people because she needed to know where they were.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So it's like she was just totally being like a fucking spy and becoming friends with these women so that she could. Yeah.
By the way, here's the reviews, the ratings for Emilia Perez, which is like, isn't this is like typical for Oscar nominees these days? I feel like it's like there's a group of people who think it's just absolutely gorgeous, amazing movie, and then a whole lot of people are like, "What is this shit?" I feel like we could look up like every Oscar nominee from last year, and that would be the story. What was
you're asking the wrong person. I don't know. I have no idea.
I watched them all. I watched them all, almost all of them.
Andre, like, that's like a big thing. Like, she loves Oscar, like doing knowing all the movies. Like, that is, I thought it was really fun too. For a while, I was trying to do it, but like,
it was way more fun when it was Chicago and Titanic and Saving Private Ryan and like big.
I have not seen any of those. Never seen any of those movies.
Golly.
I'm not joking.
Well, they're all. I just listed off 4 wonderful, amazing films, but.
Yeah, I don't like it when people sing in movies though, or dance. Like, I don't like musicals, except the ones that I know that I liked when I was little. Like, I don't either,
like,
but
I don't either. But Chicago was amazing, fantastic movie. So.
I mean, it has a very all-star cast. Like,
yes. Well,
right, like Catherine Zeta-Jones. Is Richard Gere in it?
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's the lawyer.
And then is Renee Zellweger?
Yes, Renee Zellweger. Yeah, that's you've hit the most famous. Although there's some other people that are famous in it as well.
Yeah,
but.
I mean, I feel like I can see the like cover of the
poster.
DVD in my head, or whatever. Yeah, the movie poster. Yeah. Like, one of them's like facing like the other. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, this is back when we used to put famous people in the Oscar-nominated movies instead of in the Netflix miniseries. Yeah. So.
Well, it's interesting. Like, Matt Damon, I saw an interview with him talking about like how the movie industry has changed. Like, in partially like related to COVID, but like because of like the boom of streaming more than anything. Like,
sure.
And like he was basically talking how like not Saving Private Ryan. What is the one that...
Good Will Hunting.
Yes. I'm like, 3 words. Matt Damon. Anyway.
Movie.
Yeah. Right. Like, he's like, that kind of movie is like less likely to be made today because of like how much investment goes into like making a movie and promoting and all of this stuff, and like they like let how much revenue you can expect getting out of theaters, blah 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 blah. It's like gone down so precipitously that like he's like, we're not going to take risks on movies anymore. Like, there's a fairly large. I mean, I like that movie, and I think a lot of people like that movie. So
sure.
I don't. But I don't know. I also don't know what it's like before a movie's made and you're choosing what do you think's gonna hit and what's not. Like this, like, like a very emotional like piece or whatever. Like, anyway, he's like, you see a lot less like art house movies and stuff like that these days because there's just like not the money to like invest. You can't have a bomb anymore because it's like you just get killed. Like that's the end of. I don't know.
Yep.
I'm like, that sucks. He's like, that's why you see movies like The Avengers. Like, you're certain you're going to get those profits back. Pirates of the Caribbean, definitely going to get all of that money back. Like, no doubt. That's why there's 7 of them or whatever. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But this movie that you're talking about right now sounds like the total opposite of like what he's saying is like the safe movie to make. Like there's nothing about this story this movie that sounds like it's a like weird like
got a transsexual
musical about a trans person and like the cartels and like it's like in Spanish and French like or something like what it's about in French about Spanish. I don't know. Whatever you said.
Well, no, like, I mean
it's not in English, right? That's what I heard.
It was in English and Spanish. So like I think they shoot. I don't even know.
But it's based on a French thing. You said it was like
it's a French company made this movie about Mexico, which I mean, there's no reason like only America can make movies about.
I thought you were saying it was like the original author is Spanish about or whatever is French, right? Wrote this and then
I think they might have been. Yeah, they might. The original author might have been. Well, no, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, whatever. And then you also said it's a chapter, and I'm like, that sounds just like a fucking musical to me. To be like a chapter, like here's a look at this time period. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Not enough. Maybe that's not fair to say, but.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna read. I think you're right about the Matt Damon thing. Like, I'm gonna list off the nominees for Best Picture 2025. This most recent. You tell me if you've heard of one of these. Okay. We already talked about Emilia Perez, right?
Right. I have heard of that one now.
A Complete Unknown.
No.
Conclave. Nickel Boys.
No. Wait, Conclave maybe. Like that sounds.
That's amongst the most famous of them. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Still
Nickel
Here.
Boys,
The Substance. I'm going to skip two that I know you probably have heard of, and then go to Anora and The Brutalist. Now, the two you probably heard of are Dune Part 2 and Wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, Conclave had what's his name? We're so bad at this.
Like I know, right? God, I'm like
Ralph Fiennes was in that, and Stanley Tucci. And John Lithgow. Like it was a pretty big movie. Actually, it was about electing a new pope. But
actually, like now when I'm looking at the pictures, I have not heard of that.
Oh.
Like I was thinking of something else. Like
it's a good movie.
Yeah. As soon as you said it, I was like, am I gonna think that I've heard of this because like we've had Conclave this year, like literally like that's that's very recent history, like that I've actually heard about. But yes, I think that's what happened.
Check this out.
That I heard about that, and like, but I'm like, oh, that word feels very familiar right now, so maybe.
Here's the reviews for The Substance. Does that look familiar?
Wow.
Like,
so go to the top. Let me see what The Substance like pictures look like.
Well, it's Demi Moore. And I've forgotten Margaret Qualley and Dennis Quaid. So these are big names. I mean, I guess I take back what I said about big names being an Oscar.
Yeah, but like, I mean, when you think about I mean, I guess Braveheart has big actors in it, but like I can't. I would be like, actor. Man, what a cast! I mean, like that. The girl, both of the women he like has. Like
Sophie Marceau was one of them,
and like the other girl, like I know her from a few other movies, like they're kind of like the working actors, more I guess than like the stars, like or whatever, people. Yeah.
I have a few things I like have to show. Well, I have one thing I have to show you, and maybe we should then look at the portfolio and then maybe wrap up. But this one hit the news this week, where Trump amplifies another outlandish conspiracy theory. Biden is a robotic clone. So here it is. The former president had been executed in 2020 and been replaced by a robotic clone. And so,
like, do you think that Donald Trump's actually like in on the joke sometimes, where he's like, "These guys are gonna follow me no matter what I fucking say." Like, let's see. I'm just gonna send some things out there and see like if they go for it. You know, like that he doesn't actually buy in any of his bullshit. He's just like great at like to like talk, you know, or whatever. Sometimes I think like maybe you are super clever, Donald Trump.
I know.
Like,
every so often you're like I don't know. We gotta spin the wheel of Donald.
Could be like genius, like beyond, like where it's like the fourth dimension or whatever, like or what is it?
Yeah, four-dimensional chess, exactly.
Yeah, like I'm like maybe it is that. Like
I know. The wheel of Donald Trump. Is he a genius? An idiot? Is he evil or is he insane? You know, it's like
definitely he's a megalomaniac, like for sure. Like he thinks that he should be where he is, and I'm like, but maybe he's right, like also, or maybe we should like kick him off the island. I don't know, like you know.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm like, because I know that people are totally gonna go for that now too. Like there are some people, like Fox News, no doubt, will have at least like one anchor who's like, I mean, you mean like the cyborg, you know,
cyborg
whatever, Biden, or whatever. Like, I don't.
Yeah, so Bill Maher's bit on this was fantastic, where he was basically like, you're telling me the guy who could barely finish a sentence in the debate? So we replaced the real guy with a robot that was that like senile.
People talk about him seeming like a Roomba though, where he's like, like don't know where to go, like, and it's like, oh man, like that's
pretty fair. Yeah,
that's funny. Yeah. That's funny. I mean, like. It's the best robot I've ever seen, ever, for sure, by a lot. But
well, you would think if you were gonna have a robotic cyborg, president of the United States would be the would get the best one there is, or at least his family that wants to cling to power after executing it. I'm not sure exactly how this.
Right? How did he die?
Let's see.
Or is he dead? He's just like I don't know.
Yeah.
Done the. That's so fun.
I don't.
The New York Times.
I'm not gonna find out why. What?
Yeah.
The full. I was looking for this post. I couldn't find the actual post. And I was like, I gotta read this thing about Joe Biden, cyborg.
Like that's. I mean, I guess when I don't know. When Obama was in office, I remember hearing like they would say like the president of the United States. What is that, like the office of the president of the United States, like whatever that shortened like that.
Yeah, POTUS.
That, there would be a POTUS. POTUS. Yeah. Like what? It's not office, but so like I don't know that like it was actually Obama posting then or whatever, but like. Oh, and I don't remember if Biden posted from anything at all, but like I don't know when we just like I don't think we let Trump post from like that platform, like the one designated by our government for for the president to post things. He's like, no, I'll say me, and I will say, go out and get your Dogecoin, like that. Biden's a robot. I don't know.
Yeah. God. Yeah. It's a crazy world.
So funny.
Yeah, I felt like we needed to talk. Like we owe it to our listeners and ourselves to talk about the whole Musk, breakup with Trump. But I don't know what there is to add.
What are you talking about?
So Musk is now out. He's on the outs, and which we predicted. This is another follow-up item, in our episode of catching up on past episodes.
We always.
Yeah, this was not. This is not the most challenging prediction to make. But you remember when we were like, "How long is he going to last? 90 days?"
No, I know. Yeah, absolutely. Like,
well, he exceeded that. He made it till almost 180 days. But yeah, like Trump's going to sell his Tesla, sell the shares. He's threatening to like cancel contracts with a bunch of Musk's companies. Musk was posting stuff about how the big beautiful bill act that we talked about last week, how this is just horribly irresponsible and a huge waste of money and undermines everything Doge tried to accomplish, and basically he's Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I saw something on Twitter, but it was like or not Twitter, sorry. I saw something on Reddit, but it was like, it was clearly fake. It was like a fake tweet that Elon Musk had said, like, you know, Trump is such a basic bitch, like, it was like super not real, like, but it sounded like an angry girlfriend who just got broken up with or whatever. And so I was like that's the only thing that I was like, I don't even know what this is talking about. Next. Like,
right, okay.
Not knowing that, like, I was like, I don't know why he's bad at his boyfriend, but like, yes, like, so. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that ended.
Yeah, I was
now we'll have even less insight into the government spending, though, for sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they did such a great job of like exposing it to the light. But anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Kalyn, I think we ought to go ahead and wrap it up. What do you think?
All right, sounds good.
Let's do it. Let's cue the music. You've been listening to the Robert and Kalyn Get Rich podcast. This was episode 57. It was June 8th, 2025. Why don't you like and subscribe? Leave us a review. Give us 5 stars. Why don't you? And send us an email with guest suggestions, feedback. Send us movies we never heard of that we should rate and review.
Yeah.
I don't know. Robert and Kalyn Get Rich at gmail.com. The one thing we do not want you to do is
think this is financial or investment advice.
Which
Even
this episode was chock full of that stuff.
Yeah, thin on the ground
absolutely.
this week.
Tons of financial advice. Also, do not take moving advice from our parents.
Right. Yeah, and with your parents, say Happy Father's Day to fathers out there. Yeah. Your father. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers.
Happy Father's Day, all you fathers out there. Yeah. All right.
Good job, dads.
You did your job, and some of you did it well.
Yeah.
Anyhow. All right. With that, Kalyn, I think we should say goodbye.
All right. Bye.